As you seek adventure, as you search for an unmatched experience in the great outdoors, you will find Alaska. There is no other place on Earth quite like Alaska. You are challenged by its monumental peaks, lush valleys, pristine lakes, clear, cold, cascading rivers. Alaska Outdoors is the greatest fishing in the world, abundant wildlife, and exhilarating quiet. Alaska Outdoors is limitless adventure.
Well, we decided to go up and see Mount McKinley. It was such a lovely day, we decided to catch a plane out of Talkeetna and fly over the mountain.
Mount McKinley, better known as Denali, the High One, is North America's tallest mountain. Climbers from all over the globe come to Alaska to climb Denali's summit.
The sky was blue, it was just, and the mountain just stood out like there was a spotlight on it. It was just so brilliant and bright.
But it's not the 30,320-foot summit these friends want to set foot on. Longtime Alaska resident Don Swenson and visiting friend Katie Christensen head to Talkeetna to begin their climb to Denali. Not hiking, but climbing the mountain from the seat of a K-2 Aviation ski and wheel-equipped Cessna 185 piloted by Alaska bush pilot Jim Ockenach.
Have you been in a little airplane like this before?
Yeah, I've been in float plane.
Float plane, well this is about the same except they got wheels. Okay. I got to show you how to get out in a few emergency things. The door handle is up like this and back. Okay, you go up front and then I'll help you go with the forward with the seat. That's it, there's a handle right there. Reach right up, here's the handle.
There isn't a graceful way for a 185 passenger to get aboard. In the Alaska bush, no one cares, and no one's looking anyway. Don and Katie are finding the truth in John Gillespie Maggie's High Flight. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue.
Well, when we started to go up that gorge that leads up to the Sheldon Amphitheater, I kept thinking about what are we going to do if we have to stay here, and then what did he do? He lands us up there on the glacier, and first he flew around in a circle around the amphitheater to get an idea, and then he says, we're going to go land over there by that house, and there was a house out on a rock that had been built by one of the bush pilots, and they flew and landed right underneath the house, which was on the rock, right on the glacier. Was really something because everything looked out of perspective as far as distances were until you landed there and you saw how big everything was. There was a lot of fresh snow on the mountain, on the glacier, and it was such a contrast from the fall colors down below in the valley, and there was not even a breath of wind. It was so warm we didn't even need a coat, and it was almost hot. In fact, it was warmer than it was when we got to the park up there on the glacier.
Do you know which one is McKinley?
Well, they all look the same height from here.
McKinley's right there. That's the south summit, the high point. 20,230 feet.
When you get close like this, it's hard to tell if you don't know.
Oh, McKinley is, doesn't stand out when you're up close. Yeah. But you can see just barely, if you follow the right skyline down from the summit and see that white part sticking up. Well, it's all white, but above that rocky ridge, there's a little bump going up. That's the north summit.
Oh, it's behind there?
Yeah, and it's just a little bit lower.
Wow.
But then the left skyline going on down is the south buttress of McKinley. We're on the east side.
Uh-huh.
And then all this other stuff is named. This is Dickey, and this is Burrell. Right behind Burrell was Moose's Tooth. You saw it good flying in. This is Dan Beard. Explorer Peak way over there.
Can you imagine having a snowmobile up here?
See, it'd work real good till you fell in a crevasse.
Yeah, I ran out of gas.
Most of these peaks were named by Frederick Cook. He explored this area at the turn of the century, and he named Dan Beard and Dickey and all those things after his relatives.
Oh.
Except Moose's Tooth.
He didn't have a relative.
He didn't
Yeah,
have
who's
a.
that? Is that his mother-in-law?
Maybe it was. I say people burn the roof of their mouth from the sun.
They walk around their
Don't hold your mouth open in awe, or the sun reflecting off the snow will burn the roof of your mouth.
And can get very warm. The climbers in June.
It's night, but there are 24 hours of sunlight.
My word.
But you step into a shadow, like right over here. If we were to walk into that shadow, boy, you'd be scampering for a coat and a hat and mittens. The only thing keeping it warm is the sun.
living in Alaska for as long as I have, you tend to take Mount McKinley for granted. You can see it on a clear day from Anchorage, and it's a beautiful mountain, but it's just part of the scenery a lot of times. And to be able to fly up around it and to see the forces that must have formed all those peaks around there was just breathtaking, to say the least.
We end this Alaska Outdoors segment with the final stanza of Maggie's High Flight. I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, where never lark or ever eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my mind and touched the face of God.